Hello, welcome back to the Undisputed Champ YouTube boxing channel. We're back with another one. Happy New Year. Welcome to 2022. Well done for making it. And yeah, we're going to talk about what we want from 2022 as a boxing fan. So I put a little list together, and these are the fights that we want to see, and especially the fights that I want to see in 2022. We've got a slightly new setup on the channel, so I hope you guys like it. If you like it, let me know in the comment section. If you want to go back to the way it was before, let me know in the comment section. And let's get into the video of today. The first fight on my list. This is a fight that's a long time coming now. We've had enough excuses from both sides, but it's just now, 2022 is the time. If it doesn't happen in 2022, we're going to lose some of the steam, we're going to lose some of the muster, and people are going to be less interested. I'm going to be less interested. And that is Errol the Truth Spence versus Terence Bud Crawford at the 147 division for all the belts. This is a fight it's just been such a long time coming. We've been talking about it. There's been politics issues in boxing, one side versus the other, across the street type of stuff. Things that you just don't care about when you're a boxing fan. It's just, I want to see two great fighters fight each other when they're still in their prime. And we luckily enough may still just be able to get that if this fight happens in 2022. After 2022, I think the prime eras are gone. We just don't get what we want as a boxing fan. We get the depleted, sort of lackluster versions. Looking at Errol Spence, obviously he had a devastating car crash that left him messed up. Eye was looking crazy, body was apparently looking crazy, lost some teeth, but he's kind of like a cyborg because he made a full recovery and then fought Danny Garcia after that and dominated Danny Garcia in a fight that I probably thought he was going to lose. I thought the car crash would have been too much for him to come back from, but, you know, he proved me wrong. I have to hold that. He's, after the Danny Garcia fight, had a long layoff, which is just not what you want to see. I just wanted to see him get right back into the mix and be active. And that might be a symptom of the crash. Maybe his body just doesn't recover as quickly from fights anymore like it used to, but he's been on a long layoff. He hasn't fought for a while now. I think it's coming on a year and a half, possibly 2 years. Whereas we have Terence Crawford on the other hand, who's been consistent. He's been trying to stay active. He's been fighting the people that have been put in front of him. Unfortunately for Crawford though, he's not been able to get the best of the best of the division in the ring. Apart from his last fight, Sean Porter was a top welterweight at the time, and he knocked out Sean Porter, first person to stop Sean. And I respect that, and that's a great win and a great name to have on his record. But before that, you know, a sort of washed up Kell Brook, a washed up Amir Khan. These are not the fighters and the names that really get you excited, because they're names that we think Crawford is going to win before he stepped in the ring. But he has been more consistent than Spence. He's the smaller guy when it comes to that fight, but he's probably got more skills, and he's shown that by being able to switch hit, having quicker feet than Spence, having quicker hands than Spence. Spence is, on the other hand, the bigger guy, the stronger guy, and I think Spence hits a bit harder than Crawford. Even though Crawford hits hard as well, Crawford has some nasty KOs. Obviously, he was the first person to stop Porter, and Spence couldn't stop Porter, but I do think Spence has more weight on the punches anyway. Crawford might have more snap, but Spence has more weight, and there is a difference in that. Snap can actually lead to more knockouts because they're shorter, sharper punches, but weight is like a thudding weight that when you're getting hit, like your body is just hurting and it's aching, and that's sort of the power I think Spence has. So it's just a great fight. It's a great fight. It's been a long time coming, and it's just, can boxing deliver? Can boxing deliver a fight that everybody wants to see? We know there's money in the fight. Both fighters are going to get paid, and now is the time. 2022 is the time. Really, it should have happened already, but 2022 is probably the last window that we have. If it doesn't happen this year, things start to take away from the fight, and that's not what we want. We want the fight in the best version it can be. For all the fights, I'm going to pick who I think would win the fight if the fight happened tomorrow. And if the fight happened tomorrow, I'm leaning towards Terence Crawford. I think the ability to switch hit, the ability to do something different when it gets difficult, I think that's going to push Crawford over the edge if they did fight. When Spence has been in trouble, in the Kell Brook fight, he was in a bit of trouble. It looked like it could possibly get on top for him. He just kept doing what he does and just did it more effectively, and that bailed him out. But if that doesn't work, I haven't seen Spence have to change up to something completely different to get the W. Where I've seen Crawford, I've seen him switch hit. I've seen him go, okay, I need to really stick it on this guy, or okay, I need to get back onto my boxing. So the fact that Crawford has shown me a little bit more, I'm leaning towards him to take the W in this one. The next fight on my list, this is a fight that should happen. This is between a champion and his mandatory. But with this champion, anything can happen. He's pulled out of fights. He's been nailed on to fight fights and hasn't shown up. Unless this guy's in the ring, nothing is 100%. And that is Tyson Fury versus Dillian Whyte. We're back in the heavyweight division. Two big guys, two big names. And it's a great fight. It's a great fight. And I really, really want to see this fight. I want to see this fight more now than I want to see the Tyson Fury AJ fight, because AJ showing me some deficiencies that I need to see him correct before I'm like, okay, that's a very, very interesting fight. And even though Whyte's showing deficiencies too, I just think the style of and the way that Whyte will fight may just be more interesting. And the fact that the fact that the fight is close to happening makes it just a fight I want to see more. Fury coming off a big win against Wilder. Obviously, he had a trilogy with him. I thought he won all 3 fights, but the first fight was a draw. Second fight KO'd him. Third fight KO'd him again, even more devastatingly. Wilder. Yeah, it's a long rehab and recovery after those fights. But he's undefeated still, but he has a tendency to fight to the level of his opposition. If you look back at the Nevin Pajkic fight, he got dropped and he fought down to Nevin's level. If you look at the John McDermott, the first fight, a lot of people say he lost that fight. Very, very close fight. Very, very, very close fight. And again, he fought down to the level of his opposition. Look at the Steve Cunningham fight. A fight that it should have been an easy win. Steve Cunningham's not even a big cruiserweight. And Fury was dropped again and had trouble with Cunningham early, but managed to turn it around and wake up in the second half of the fight and get Cunningham out there. But again, fight down to the level of opposition. It does work for him on the flip side though, when he fights top level guys, like when he fought Klitschko and fought up to that standing and even above and exposed Klitschko a little bit. Amazing win for Fury. A lot of people didn't pick him. Again, I didn't pick Fury to win that fight. I thought Klitschko would potentially stop him, but he proved me wrong. He proved a lot of people wrong. And in the Wilder fights, he stepped up again and disposed of Wilder in a way we'd never seen before. So Fury, if he can get himself up for this fight, and I think Dillian Whyte is a high level operator, he should fight up and possibly above the level of Dillian Whyte. Dillian, on the other hand, he's been active and he's been trying to stay active. Even though he's not had his world title fights, he's tried to fight the best of the rest. And to be fair to him, he's done that. He's got fights against Povetkin. He's got fights against Chisora. He's got fights against Takam. He's fought the best of the rest, as they say. And I applaud him for that, because he didn't have to. He got himself into a good position. He didn't have to take fights that he took. But as much as he has fought the best of the rest, and he has an amazing heart, like he will put himself in the line of fire to try and get a W, I think his chin has been rocked a little too many times, and I think he's got some chin issues. The 2 devastating KOs that he's been on the receiving end of, it's just hard for anyone to really recover from that. Like the KO that he took from Joshua, he did amazingly well to get back into a top level position in the heavyweight division, because that KO was scary, very, very scary. But then to receive another really scary KO against Povetkin in the first fight, that's probably one of my favourite. That's in my top 10 KOs ever, that Povetkin uppercut KO. Just for the simple fact that Whyte was actually dominating Povetkin and dropped him twice, and then Povetkin just came back with something from the pits of Hades to KO Whyte with. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. So Whyte has some issues regarding his chin, I think, and he did exceptionally well to get Povetkin back on the rematch and knock him out, but I think Povetkin was old and he was dominating the first fight anyway. And the lasting damage of that second KO from Povetkin, I think that's going to have serious issues on him going forward. But he could prove me wrong. It's a very, very intriguing fight. Whyte is the smaller guy in this fight, but he has a better left hook. He's probably got a bigger top half, but Fury's bigger overall. As in, he's got bigger legs. He's got longer reach. He's got a longer upper body. But I think Dillian Whyte has a bigger top half, which might help him in clinches to be able to deal with Fury's massive size and weight. So it's interesting. But I think, again, if I had to pick tomorrow, I think the wrinkles in Tyson Fury's game just just outstrip and outshine Dillian Whyte. He can switch hit as well. He's got better footwork than Dillian. He can fight on the inside. Maybe not as effectively as Dillian, but he can fight on the inside. He can definitely fight and keep it long and at distance. And he hits hard. People used to always underestimate Tyson Fury's power, but he's proven it. He's knocked out Deontay Wilder 2 times now, so he's proven that he's got power. And I think, I lean towards Tyson Fury. But Whyte can cause the upset, and if he does, it'd be a great win for him. Great win for him and his people, and a deserved win if he gets it. A very well-deserved win. Another fight is that I really want to see in the light heavyweight division. A fight that I think it would just be an absolute fireworks, especially if they both fight the way they've been fighting. Is Saul Canelo Alvarez versus Artur Beterbiev. This is a great fight. 2 fighters that have been fighting in a come forward style, who hit hard, who have been getting knockouts, coming blow to blow in the center of the ring. Winner takes all. I would love to see this fight. I'd love to see this fight. When I look at Canelo, he's cleaned up the super middleweight division. His skills have improved immensely since the Floyd Mayweather fight, his one and only loss. He looks slick. He's got great head movement, great upper body movement. He's punching hard. He's getting people out of there. He's breaking people's will. He's breaking people's want to even be in the ring. And he just looks amazing. Cleaned up the super middleweight division in 1 year. Who's doing that in boxing? No one. There isn't anyone that's doing that in boxing. So salute to Canelo, and he's shown that he's won a belt at light heavy already. For someone who started at junior middle, he's gone up to light heavy and won a belt already against Kovalev. So he's proven that he can fight at the weight and he can be at the weight comfortably. And so, let's have his next challenge at light heavy. Beterbiev, on the other hand, big, strong guy. Good amateur pedigree. In the amateurs, he fought at heavyweight, which is cruiserweight in the pros. So he's a big guy. He's got a 100% KO record as a world champ. The only world champ to have a 100% KO record. He's menacing when he's in there. When he hurts you, he goes for the kill, and he gets the kill. And it's just a fight I love to see. He comes forward, he doesn't hide, and he punches hard, man. What a great fight. Canelo wouldn't have been with a serious power puncher since GGG, and Beterbiev is hitting way harder than GGG, I can tell you that now. So this would be a very interesting fight, because is Canelo going to stay fighting the way he's been fighting, which is stalking opponents and then walking them down and getting them out of there? Or is he going to switch up when he takes that first blow from Beterbiev? On the other hand, Beterbiev's head movement isn't the best. He does get hit. He takes one to give one. And, Canelo's been hitting hard as well. He's knocked out a light heavyweight champion already. Can Beterbiev take those punches? Great fight. And I hope it happens in 2022. It's not signed or anything, but I hope it happens in 2022. Another fight in the light heavyweight division. Probably the fight I want to see most on this list. A fight between domestic rivals. It's a fight between 2 guys from London. One from South London, one from East London. A fight where one has Jamaican heritage and one has Ghanaian heritage, but are both British. It's Joshua Buatsi versus Anthony Yarde. What a fight this would be. This fight will sell out the O2. This fight will sell out the Copper Box Arena. And to be honest, they could and should have probably already fought. They could have fought for a British title like AJ and White did, and they could have sold out the O2, and it could have been an amazing experience for everyone. But 2022, hopefully it's the year. Joshua Buatsi's 15-0, he's undefeated, 13 KOs. He's linked up with who's that trainer again that he's linked up with? Virgil Hunter. He's linked up with Virgil Hunter. He's out there in America training hard, and his game is improving. One knock that I've always had on Buatsi, and unfortunately this hasn't changed yet, is his head movement and lack of it. Buatsi just doesn't move his head enough. And because of that he gets caught. And he's shown a good chin up until now. He hasn't fought anyone with crazy power, but he's shown a good chin. But that head movement, you don't want to show a good chin forever. You want to be able to evade and duck punches and slip punches and still get yours off. So I'm nervous about the lack of head movement that he's shown. But he'll bring a big crowd from South London to back him, and in a fight with Yarde, boy, explosions. They both, no one want to lose. It's going to be an ego fight if anything. The fight will probably come down to who can control their ego more, because if you do come into a fight like that with just ego, as you've seen with AJ, even though AJ was dominating the fight, he got clipped because he was doing up ego. He was thinking he was the big bad wolf and he couldn't be touched and he got clipped. So whoever can control their ego the most probably wins this fight. Yarde, on the other hand, he's bigger than Boatsy. I've seen Yarde in the flesh. I've met him, and Yarde's back, his back is absolutely massive. I couldn't believe that he fought at light heavy. I couldn't believe it because he's just a huge guy. He's an absolutely huge guy. Very cool guy, calm guy, but he is enormous at the weight. He's got a 22-2 record, a loss to Kovalev, and a loss to Lyndon Arthur. In the Kovalev fight, he did look like he was doing well, and he could maybe potentially get Kovalev out there, but the gas tank ran out, and he got taken out. In the Arthur fight, he was trying to outpoint Arthur, which was the wrong, in the first Arthur fight even, he was trying to outpoint Arthur, which was the wrong tactics. He was trying to conserve his gas tank after, obviously, the Kovalev fight where he gassed out and just left it too late to try and win the fight. In the second fight, he fought a lot better, and he realised he had the advantages of being the bigger, stronger guy in there, and he got Lyndon Arthur out there. But Yarde, I feel he's got a lot of talent, but I just feel at this top level, I think his corner work does hamper him. I think if he had elite corner work and received elite instructions, I think he could probably be a little bit further on in his career than he has been, because he fought a lot of cream puffs all the way up into the Kovalev fight and wasn't prepared when the Kovalev fight came around. But anyway, he's got a lot more experience now, taking them some big fights in Lyndon Arthur, another domestic clash, and having the Kovalev fight, just having fought it. So it's a great fight. Boatsy versus Yarde is a fight I'll absolutely love to see. I'll pay the ringside one for that one if I can. I'll shell out because I know I can't get disappointed. The fight will just, the only thing that will ruin that fight is a cut. The fight just has too much going for it. 2 different areas of London, 2 batches, two egos, domestic. Oh yeah, great fight. And then last but definitely not least, another fight that I wish to. Oh, I forgot to say who I would pick in that fight. I'd actually pick. Who would I pick? This is probably why I moved on, because I don't know who I'll pick for this one. But I think just because, and this is a minor point, and definitely is a 50-50 fight. 50-50 fight. But just because I feel like Boatsy has the more experienced corner, and I think he'll probably be a bit cooler under pressure if it really got on top for him in there, I think Boatsy would win the fight. I think he managed to keep his cool, and he'll have, I hope, the skills, even though the lack of head movement is very dangerous, and Yarde could definitely KO Boatsy, definitely. But I think his ability to slip between offense and defense more seamlessly than Yarde can, and the better corner work, I think just edges him in the fight. But that can change. 100% that can change. And then, as I said, last but definitely not least, another great fight. It's going to be youth versus experience. It's going to be power versus skills. It's going to be the bigger guy who is slick in his own way versus the smaller guy who's also slick in his own way. It's Lomachenko versus Javonte Tank Davis. Great fight. And it's about time this fight happened. 2022, please, boxing, deliver this fight. Forget politics. Forget this side, that side. Let's just deliver the best fights. And this is the best fight. Tank's ready. Everyone's been saying Tank's young. I think Tank's 25, 26 now. There's no more Tank's young. He's still youthful, but he's not young. Lomachenko is getting on, but Lomachenko proved in his last fight against Richard Comey that he still has it. That he's still a highly skilled operator that can embarrass anybody in there. So let's get the fight on. Lomachenko has the best footwork in boxing. That's not arguable. There's no debate. He's got the best footwork in boxing. And he's got some of the best movement in boxing as well. Head movement, body movement. Maybe not the best movement, but he's got some of the best. But he definitely has the best footwork in boxing. Lomachenko does things in there that you think, how is that even possible? That's why his moniker is high tech, because he does things at a high tech level. Tank, on the other hand, is probably one of the most explosive boxers, if not the most explosive boxer in boxing. His one-punch knockout ability is crazy. He's slick. You can see where he's trained in the Floyd Mayweather gym a little bit, that he's got some of that shoulder roll about him. He's got nice head movement, but he's a bit static, and his foot movement isn't the best. He's not as terrible as Adrian Broner's cement block feet, but his foot movement and footwork isn't as elite as I think as it could be. It doesn't have to be Lomachenko's level, but it's not as great as it could be. The fight is an amazing fight. It's been a young time coming, and if I had to pick tomorrow, if that fight was made, first of all, I'd be absolutely gassed, and I'll be staying up for that fight 100 million %. I might even do a live for that one, because that fight, oh yeah. But if I had to pick, and a gun to my head, and the fight was happening tomorrow, I'd pick Lomachenko, Not that Tank can't win. Tank can definitely win the fight, but I picked Lomachenko because of the extra wrinkles to his game. In the fight that he lost in the Teofimo Lopez fight, where he fought another bigger guy, I felt that Lomachenko was coming on strong. He just messed up his tactics a little bit. I feel for the Tank fight, he was not messing up his tactics. I think he'll be in the zone, and he'll know that if he's doesn't come and fully tuned in, Tank has the ability to knock Lomachenko clean out, turn him off. So I think Lomachenko will come 100% switched on, and I think Lomachenko could win that fight. Tank could definitely win the fight, and he could definitely KO Lomachenko, but I think Lomachenko has what it takes, and would just about edge Tank on a points decision on that one. So yeah, hopefully boxing just gives us these fights. If we get all 5 fights, it's been a great year for boxing. I don't want to hear complaints. If we get all 5 fights, no, you can't complain. You actually can't complain. Even if we get 3 of the fights, and one of them is the Vasyl Yarde fight, we can't really complain. But let's just see what we get, and hopefully we get something worthwhile and something solid this year. But yeah, on to another one. Peace.